it for us.
How's Clark Kent doing?
Hey, take your seat up here. Here you go. In your side seat.
There's no seat there.
Okay, we are on record.
We'll call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting, January 27th, 2020 to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
David?
Here.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Here.
Jay? Libby? Alice present.
Okay. Reverend Blankenship, would you like to lead us in prayer, please?
Father, we are grateful that we have leaders in our community that will listen to us. We ask you to be with this mayor, this council, as they weigh the pros and cons on every decision. Give them wisdom on how to best represent everyone. Give them courage so that even when it's hard, they will boldly but humbly represent the needs of everyone in our community. Help us all in our community to not forget the past, but in fact to learn from it. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You all should have gotten minutes from the council meeting on January 13th, special meeting held on January 15th, and a finance work session held on January 22nd. I'll ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
You have that motion?
Second.
Okay. Roll
Andy,
call.
a second.
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Okay, just 1 second here and I'll circulate this to obtain your signatures. Please.
While they're circulating that, we'll get to the mayor's report. So it's been 27 days, lots of meetings, lots of phone calls, some wonderful visits from citizens, and it's been great. Mostly, it's been great. But the wheels of change move slowly, especially in a government setting, and I'm learning that more and more the more days I am part of this office. We all have our own ideas on how to improve or change things for the better here in Mount Sterling. I was elected by the citizens of this village to help represent their ideas and desires for change. These council members were elected by the citizens of the village to help represent their ideas and desires for change. We are all in this together. What you need to understand, when things don't happen quickly or aren't discussed during a council meeting, that doesn't mean we aren't working on these ideas. We have special meetings and work sessions. We research your ideas often into the late hours of night at our computers at home, and we talk to others on how we can successfully affect the wheels of change. I can't stress this enough. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out to us here at Village Hall by phone or email, or stop in. We don't respond to Facebook posts. We will respond to your calls, your emails, or your office visits. With that being said, I have worked out a tentative schedule to see how it works with the village for village hours here for me. Beginning on February 10th, I will be in office hours every second and fourth Monday all day long. Those are the days that we have our council meetings, so I'll be here late into the evening. Also, I plan to be here every Wednesday from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We have decided amongst council that that is a good day to have any extra meetings, like our special department head meetings, whatever. So I'll be here for those anyway. If those hours don't work out for you, get a hold of me. If we need to meet on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm here for you. I can do that. So Going forward. One way that we all can start to affect the wheels of change is by changing our attitudes. There is no doubt that Mount Sterling has had some difficult times, and most of us still feel the pain from those times and the poor decisions that were made. And yes, we need to remember what happened so we don't fall back into the same poor habits that nearly crippled this town. But that doesn't mean we have to dwell on it. That doesn't mean that these elected officials are going to make those same bad decisions. We have the state that watches over us, and we have had the hard work of our fiscal officer, and we are hoping to be released very shortly from our fiscal emergency. That's a great, great victory for this town. So we need to start thinking more positively. Yes, we don't have a school or a grocery store, and yes, we don't have a pool, and we have high water bills. But I'm telling you that you're looking at a panel of leaders that are dedicated to bring back the pride of this village. We have to begin to look at our future and how we can attract new businesses, new housing, and then we will begin to see those wheels start to turn. I can promise you that you will start to see change here in this office, in this hall, in our streets and our homes and businesses. It starts here. It starts now. Thanks for indulging me. President Pro Tem, Becky?
Hi. Yes, I just wanted to let everyone know that our committees have been assigned, and everyone has a copy of all those committees. As our mayor just mentioned, we have decided to hold all of our committee meetings on Wednesdays, a little less confusing. So this year, unless there's some type of emergency, all committee meetings will be on Wednesday, and those times will be set by the committee chairman, and most of those committee meetings are once a month, and they will be on the same Wednesday of every month. So if there's a subject you're really interested in, you'll know the first Wednesday of every month I'm going to this. And those will be all posted on our website as well. So I'm excited to tell you that we will be filling our 6th seat tonight with our newest council member, and I believe that's our last business in the evening. So we're really excited to welcome Melanie to the team, and we hope to have great things from her as well. So that's all I have.
Okay. Public comments. Looks like we have a couple. Ashley Cooper is a candidate for Madison County Treasurer. I will remind our guests tonight, you have 3 minutes. Please stand and let's hear from you.
So I'm Ashley Cooper, and I just wanted to come tonight to introduce myself to everyone, give you a little bit of background information on me. I'm running for Madison County Treasurer. I live right outside of Mount Sterling on 56. I live with my husband and our 3 children. I grew up in Mechanicsburg, went on to Urbana University, graduated with a bachelor's in business. I have a minor's in accounting, and I'm currently working on my CPA, which I will have that completed in May. I currently work for Staples as a financial analyst. I've been there for 12 years. So I do have experience with money, with budgets, with analytical work. So some of my goal is not to go in there and turn the place upside down. My goal is to make it a smooth transition. Donna Landis is the current treasurer. I plan on working with her to make it a smooth transition and, just help out the county. I want to be involved. So if I am elected, I want to know how I can better support you guys. So I will be on the ballot in March. So I appreciate your guys' support. If you have any questions for me, I can wait around after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Wallace, candidate for Madison County Commissioner.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Thanks for giving me some time. I do appreciate it. My name is Chris Wallace, and I am running for Madison County Commissioner in the upcoming Republican primary that's going to be on March 17th. I'm from Plain City, Ohio. We're up there, graduated from Jonathan Alder, and moved back to town after I finished law school. Currently a practicing attorney, but wanted to serve and give back to the community, and we could use some new leadership at the county level. I've been active and involved in politics for a long time. Got my start in politics actually working on Congressman Stiver's congressional campaigns in 2008 and 2010. And I was also Mike DeWine's county chair for his gubernatorial campaign in 2018. A few of the issues that I'm going to be focused on is economic development. I think we have great opportunity here in this county for economic development, especially Even my area, the county, I see Dublin and Hilliard creeping ever closer to this county, and I think we have some opportunities there that we can take advantage of to make sure that we're attracting good-paying jobs to this county so that our young people that do grow up here can come back here and get a good-paying job and stay here in the county and raise a family. And with that goes workforce development. I want to continue to partner with the Madison County Chamber of Commerce and Tolles Technical Center to make sure we're getting the young people the training and skills they need to take the jobs that are going to be available in the 21st century. And also want to make sure that our infrastructure is in place. As we grow as a county, as we want to attract jobs and more homes, we've got to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place to do that. So making sure our water lines, our roads, our bridges are all in place and up to date so that we can take on that positive growth. And also public safety, that as we continue to grow as a county and attract businesses and more people, that we make sure that our sheriff's office is well funded so they can protect our communities. So I do appreciate your time and certainly would appreciate your support in March. Thank you very much. Any questions or concerns, happy to stay after and chat. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go to department reports with our sheriff department, Jack Dill.
I've just got a few things for you. So far, for the month of January, we have had 101 calls for service. That's 27 days. Out of those, let's say 7 of them were with the fire and EMS, which we go on non-breather, unconscious person, or mental status changes. So 7 of those were with fire and EMS. The rest were all sheriff-related incidents. I'll give you a little rundown here of some of the stuff we've been doing. Traffic stops, we've had 20 so far this month. Suspicious activities, which persons, activities, vehicles, there's been 12. Juvenile complaints, there's been 2. Narcotics arrests, there's been 1 so far. Domestics, 5. And 3 unrelated warrant arrests. So that means people we've stopped or had contact with, they've had warrants and we've arrested them. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. Your traffic stops, is that like ticketed, 20
Yeah.
ticketed? Is that just when you, like, you could stop them and say?
It's traffic stops, and those are stops within the village. Those are not from the deputy following somebody out of town and then stopping them. Those are actual stops in the village. That's all that's how the computer system registers.
Okay, so that includes warnings and actual
Yes,
tickets,
It
both?
doesn't tell me
Yeah.
how many citations.
Okay.
we issue.
Was there one drug-related arrest, Jack? Do we have any of that?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Just one on that.
Okay, thank you. We have been in contact with the sheriff's department. The contract that we have with them is soon to be coming up for renewal. And because of that, we would like to hear from the public. We want to know what your feelings are about the sheriff's department. Sheriff Swaney is going to be here on Wednesday at 7 o'clock for our first open forum. You're welcome to come and bring your questions. We would ask that you please be kind and bring your ideas and your questions. We don't need it to be anything more than that. So again, that's Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Our law director report, as you see, we still have an empty seat here. We are working diligently to try to fill that spot. We have the deadline posted for that position until February 5th, at which time the council will interview all the candidates for that position. And we hope to fill that quickly. Utilities clerk, Misty.
As I've been reminded, or it's brought to my attention about the methodologies on the collecting the water bills, that they're due by the 15th. I know I say this almost every single time, but people seem to be surprised when I call them. They're due by the 15th, or there's a 10% penalty, which penalties will not be removed for for no reason. If you didn't get a bill, just call. I mean, Courtney or I can help you with that, no problem. And these shut off at the end of the month, not the beginning of the month. And I'm gonna say we haven't followed that very tightly. Just doing what we can, so that's not working any longer. We have, after the new one came out and 27th of December, we're gonna follow that, as many people had a call over the last Friday to today, many calls. Probably over, I would say, 50 calls. There's 7 of them scheduled to be shut off in the morning. If they do get shut off, there's a $50 fee added on to that. And then if service is to be reconnected, we have to receive that call before 4 o'clock. Because it just costs too much to have our guys come back in. Let's see, there's about, 34 delinquent accounts. About $11,000 the late fees hit. So I'm working, trying to get this best that I can. And Courtney's been lending a hand. I'm very thankful to Sue for helping out Friday. So Sue Tegra is filling in for me when I use some time off. We did receive our new meters today. They're in. We'll be sending out letters or contacting by sections of the city when we need to when we're going to replace them. We need to get the software added and implemented and everyone trained on that before we can put those meters in. So I think that's about it.
Anybody have any questions? Once we get the new meter program ready to go and roll out, we will discuss it probably during a council meeting. I don't know whether we'll have a special meeting, like another forum, if anybody wants to come in. But everybody needs to know that if you have problems with your water bill, being able to pay it, please don't not call. You need to call. Misty has resources that can help you possibly, so make that call and see if we can put you on a payment plan, what we can do to help you, until you can get back on your feet. So just make the call. They're friendly gals, so they're not going to judge. Please call.
Thank you for mentioning that part. Community action, they really do help, but that you have to ask for it, and they're going to receive a check this week for a past $3 bill. So it took them a while, but the holidays were here and everything, but they can almost promise to pay us pretty quickly. There's just a lot of people out there that need help, but the money is there.
Right. But they have to reach out. Yes.
That's right.
One quick question. Can you talk just briefly about the new water meters? Why are we buying them and what we're going to get out of them?
Okay, the ones that, there's new ones, it's, not every person right now is gonna get a brand new one.
Okay.
But there's meters out there that are, they're manual meters and you have, so I'm just gonna talk about that part
Yeah.
too. They're manual meters and we have to physically see them to write down that number. A lot of them, they're either just hard to read, they have, the screens are broken, there's readout on these meters out on a lot of the houses on the outside, but the original meters inside. The wires have been cut, broken, they're just old, pretty much just dwindling away.
So these will allow us to do a drive-by or?
Right, well, we have some meters now that are drive-bys, they're automatic readers, we have a handheld. And it hooks to each, like say if you have a radio read, you have this meter, we have a number that's similar to a cell phone number, and it's to your meter specifically. So that's a lot of people in town have those. I know since I've started, we've replaced over 200 of those alone. So there's those type of meters, so that's two. Now we're getting into cellular meters where they'll automatically pull into the village from the location a couple times a day. And we can see the usage right then, so we can detect it. We can be proactive on this, which was my goal from day one, to have everybody like that. And, instead of just reacting, we can, call somebody as soon as they have a leak before, they may even realize it. So it'll pull into the system a couple times a day, or if somebody says they have a leak, or if their bill's high, we can go on the computer and we can see what time of the day that usage happened. So there's just 3 different kinds right now. You know, it'll take some time to replace them, but eventually, we would like the whole village to have these cellular.
Yeah,
meters.
I think that basically the win for everybody is you get a more accurate reading,
Yeah,
you get less labor to do it, and you get it more timely, and that's a win pretty much, I would say, for all the way around.
yeah.
I mean, one of the challenges we have in the village is accurate readings.
Yeah.
And obviously, we get a lot of feedback that some are high, some are low, some are, this should even a lot of that out and make it such that it's more predictable for
Yeah,
everybody.
because
That's the whole point of it.
At the very beginning, I don't want anyone to get any charged any more or any less than they use.
Right,
you know?
right.
So it definitely a positive step for the village.
Thanks for the update on that. That's good news.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Misty? I know you have some work to do, so you're welcome to be excused if you like to. Fiscal Officer Report, Courtney Berger.
That would be me. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Okay, so, what you guys have here in front of you is a more accurate than what we had, I don't wanna say more accurate. This would be for 2020 fundings. So again, we are back to those, small balance amounts, small percentages, obviously, because we just started at the beginning of the year, okay? So if we wanna start first with the cash summary by fund. We are showing a general balance of $579,955.91. Again, this is the inclusion of your budget for 2020. These numbers are reflecting that for your appropriations, via your expenditures, and any fund balances that were carried over. Everything is in the positive. Any questions for that? Okay, and just for the public's knowledge, I know sometimes I seem to talk about the same, reports and the same line items. Council does receive their council packets the Friday before of each meeting. So sometimes when the public says that none of the council members or maybe even the mayor's not asking questions, they've asked the questions prior to tonight's meeting. So everything has been cleared up. I know sometimes when I read through these, not a lot of people have, or council members don't have questions. That would be the purpose of these, is packets are sent out to council members so they have time to review them before today's session.
It's almost like a final check
Right.
then, too.
Yep. The comparison of budget and appropriated, again, these are at almost the 0% balances because, we haven't really expended anything, but one set of checks. And again, this is comparing your budget and appropriated. Again, we can start to see a lot more activity as we go throughout the year. Payment listings is your next report. And on here, again, are reoccurring bills. We have our medical insurance, we have our telephone systems that we pay for each month, we have the electric, and we also have a Madison County Future, Inc., which is our membership for the year of 2020, for the CIC. Any questions on that? Okay, the next one is your receipt listing. And again, these are all receipt listings. A lot of these Village of Mount Sterling's would be the payments received at the utilities office, which is your water and the sewer payments that residents are paying. Also, Kurtz Brothers, that you see a refund on here. I do kind of like to go back and make sure that things are not paid when they're not supposed to. And I kind of went back, far in the archives and found that back in 2015, we were charged sales tax on a delivery of bulk mulch or bulk, what do you call it, bulk sand or ball mix out of our park.
Oh, yeah.
So I was able to retrieve about $700
Nice.
for sales tax that they placed upon us. So that goes back again into the Parks and Rec, because for the people that are on the Parks and Rec fund, there's not revenue that comes in for that. So I tried to make sure that we spend that wisely, and if there's any money that we can recover, I want to do so. So I kind of like to do an audit back in those prior years that maybe other fiscal officers may have not have caught. So be looking for some of those refunds to come back through, specifically on the Parks and Rec. And then we received our payments for the RITA. Again, like I pronounced on last meeting, that we are still in the delinquency program, but we cannot compare the funds that we're gonna be getting here now versus when the program first started. So just to see those, you know, it's not gonna decrease, but you're not gonna see as much monies as we collected before. Okay, revenue status, again, most of these are at zero. Again, we'll start to see these percentages kind of go further up as we go through and start collecting our property taxes. And, you know, some of our other, you know, we have cable franchise fees and quarterly things. So we are sitting right now on the general fund thus far since January 1 at only 5%. So again, don't be alarmed, but as we go through the year, it'll definitely be an increase. And I always like to look at the water fund and the sewer fund, which these are self-sustaining percentages. We can actually see here we're at 6.5%. So at the end of March, I would like to see that at 25% on each one of these revenues. And yes, we will definitely get there. We'll be monitoring that with the sewer. We also are at 6.8. So they should be fairly the same in regards to collection of revenues. Any questions on that?
Looks like we're going pretty good and stable. That's the main thing. That's the main thing, exactly.
The next report is your appropriation status report. Again, only sent out one round of bills, and the expenditure is at 1%. So that's very good, at 1% thus far.
Courtney, is January typically a slow month?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
So as we get closer to spring, when things start thawing out, we should see more.
Right. Yep, and it just depends on the project. So as we start to develop these committees, as, you know, Becky has assigned these committees, we're gonna start developing what we call our wish list, shall we say. So what are items or projects that have not, maybe have been completed but want to be completed, we need to start aligning those. So each committee will be designated, let's say like a 5-year capital improvement plan, which was recommended by Ms. Martin. So that definitely gives everybody a perspective in each one of their committees on, okay, what kind of projects do we want? What can we afford? And what are some of those new ideas that those committees want to come up with? Again, for the water fund, we are even at 0.4%. So also in the sewer. So there's not much to report, which is always a good thing. And your reader report, we are showing here that has been reconciled and credited to the account on January the 15th. That was a total of $7,837.95. Any questions on the financials? Okay, so I am happy to report that I have officially closed out for the year of 2019. So the year of 2019 has been balanced, reconciled, actually last Tuesday, the 21st. So that will be posted to everybody. If anybody in the public wants to see any of those records, I will say it is a gigantic stack of reports. You are welcome to contact me. You can email me, give me a phone call, and I can certainly explain that if I need to. I'll also be posting that on the letters that I circulate in town, stating that that has been taken care of. So that is very good for us. There's usually a deadline at the end of February that goes into effect, so we are indefinite ahead of that. So I'm to report that everything went very smoothly, and I had a meeting with the auditors on Tuesday, and he's very satisfied and excited about the progress that we've made. So our next meeting is scheduled for February the 11th at 10 o'clock here at Town Hall. It is open to the public. Anybody is welcome to attend. I also submit a YouTube video as well, a live YouTube video, if anybody can attend that meeting, that you guys can still hear about the commission meeting that is housed here. But again, it's not ran like a council meeting, so if you do attend in the audience, you cannot ask questions, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that if anybody had any questions on that. So again, I'm happy to state that actually all of our comments have been cleared. So we are just waiting to make sure that they give us the final okay, that they would then schedule a time you know, in a date, to knowing that when we can be taken out of it, but we here know that we've all worked very hard for this for almost 2 years. And it will be happy to finally be taken out of it. But again, we're very, very, very close. So I don't, again, have a date or a time, but we should all be, you know, very proud of ourselves.
We're very proud of you. I mean, it kind of goes to, without saying, if during your busy time, end of year, beginning of the new year, you were able to find $700 from a mistake in 2015, that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing here with this one, so thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to recap the reports that we will need for that motion?
Okay, so tonight, council will be electing a vote for appropriation status, revenue status, receipt listing, the payment listing, comparison of budget and appropriated, cash summary by fund, and the reader reports.
So can I have a motion,
I'll make
please?
that motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
And Andy?
Yes.
Okay, and if I may circulate and capture your signatures, that would be great.
Okay. While we're doing that, we'll go to committee reports. We'll start with finance. David Timmons?
Oh, well, on finance, I am the new chairperson, and I'm really great to have somebody like Courtney. Courtney, you do an excellent job, like that guy. And we're going to have, well, how we're going to schedule our meetings, just, we tentatively will have meetings as Courtney or the mayor sees them, and they can contact me, or we're going to work that way, because I think that way, if we have something, we can all work as a unit. So we're planning on that, and I'm hoping this is the year we finally get off the watch. I've been waiting, I'm the old veteran up here, so I've been waiting for this for a long time, so.
Craig.
So we can get that, and, but we're moving forward, we got great people up here, and it's going to be an interesting year, and the finance is going to do their job. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. And what day will your meetings be held if we do have them? You
Would
did
would be.
Tentatively on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
on Wednesday, yes.
Okay.
But it depends if Courtney or you demand something, we can definitely get that.
Okay. Moving on to Pleasant Township, there's no report at this time. Squad, Jay?
All right, well, I had the opportunity to introduce myself to all 3 squads. Of course, they're all different days, so I had to make it a few days, and a tremendous group of people. Got to kind of walk around the station and kind of seeing what they're working out of and everything, and they're a very knowledgeable and very impressive group. And so I haven't met the chief yet. I always seem to miss him, and one thing about the squad is you can walk up for a meeting and they're running out the door, sirens blaring, so you never know what you're going to walk into. But a great group of people. There is a meeting I will be attending. It's on February 12th at 8 p.m., which is kind of just, they're talking about the business, the things they're looking forward to, and things that are going on. So we'll have a report after that for sure. I also want to do a quick announcement for the Sterling Joint Ambulance District. So they are hiring. They are looking for paramedics and all that. 2 full-time positions. They're going to be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's also a part-time position open, so that will be for every 6th on 3 unit. So if there's any questions, inquiries, please contact Chief Taylor, which is at chieftaylor@midohio.twcbc.com, and he'll be able to give you more information. And that is my report for squad.
Very good. Fire, Craig?
Yes, I talked to Chief Taylor just this weekend. He told me the meetings are on Wednesday, but possibly not this, or Thursdays, I'm sorry, but possibly not this Thursday because there's a shake-up in the sun not being there, so it could still be Thursday, it could be Friday, and it could be Saturday. I'm still waiting on somebody to tell me.
Okay, very good.
But it's usually on the last Thursday of the month.
Right. Okay. Water, wastewater, also Craig.
We will be starting our first meeting the second Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And that's next February.
Yeah, February will be here on Saturday.
Second Wednesday, I think, would be the 11th.
Sounds good.
12.
Yeah, 12.
12, sorry. February 12th.
Okay.
Abe's birthday.
Street, Andy.
We're going to pick up where we left off last year, which is to say, we have signs to look at, surface street issues to look at, which include both runoff and overall condition, including that is its own sort of, the overall conditions of the streets are its own kind of mess right there, and that includes patching potholes, looking at drainage culverts, and making generally sure that water is running where it needs to be running. I think everybody in the villages, they walk around, can see where we have ponding in places, and we're trying very hard to look at that. If anyone would be so kind, if you see a pond and a storm drain that is plugged up, please scooch some leaves out of the way just to get a lot of the water to drain off. Otherwise, it'll take a very long period of time. As I mentioned last year on the streets, please come with suggestions that we can start looking at. We know we have a certain number of signs in inventory. We ordered some signs. We need to make another placement for signs as part of the wish list program for this year's capital improvements. This village needs signs all over the place. We have missing signs. We have signs that are just infrastructure that just needs to be replaced because it's run down. So let's get on that. The meeting is actually the first Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. We're a little bit different. One of the ways that we can get on top of issues, if they're small enough, is have our meeting early enough in the day and we can get out and actually work on them, hopefully that day or the next couple of days. So with that, I'll hand it back to the mayor.
Okay, very good. Parks and Recreation, Becky?
Yep. We will be having our meetings the first Wednesday of every month. This meeting will be February the 5th at 4 o'clock. And we will also be working on a 5-year plan of projects we want to complete, as well as our 1-year plan and activities for the year. Last year, as you know, we had our movie nights, and they got more and more successful every night that we did them. We hope to add more activities to our Parks and Recs this year. So after the group meets on the 5th, we'll have a lot more to tell you, hopefully, and the public is welcome. And again, we'd love to hear your input and your wish lists, so please feel free to come, and we'll listen to what you have to say. That's all.
Good. Nuisance and abatement. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, record of retention, Andy.
Our records retention meeting will be held sometime in June. The reason why there is still sort of a question mark around that date is because it's only technically required by law every 6 months. Obviously, we can meet much sooner than that. I pledged to the mayor and the council that we would take a look at kind of current state. If there are any outstanding requests for public records, we'll get those taken care of. I believe the prior chair did a pretty good job of staying on top of those. But that said, we ought to meet probably once between now and June in order to make sure we know sort of what's going on. We're also studying if there's anything else that needs to be done with regards to the physical custody of records here in the town hall. We have a lot of historical materials which are available to the public at any time, and the question is, how can we make those best available to everyone? They're all over the place. So that is on the agenda to do this year.
Very good. Nuisance and abatement, Becky.
Yes. The nuisance and abatement meeting will be also the first Wednesday of every month at 3 o'clock. All of our committee meetings are an hour, usually. Sometimes they're a little shorter, sometimes we have to request a few extra minutes, but I do want to let everyone know, as our mayor mentioned earlier, that cleaning up the community and growth through housing and businesses is essential to the village. So with that, we do have to clean up. So nuisance and abatement is a critical committee, and we will be hiring a code enforcement officer. It's already been posted, so if anyone is interested in that position, it's only a part-time 1099 position, 10 hours a week. But if you are interested, it's on our website, and those applications or letters of interest will be accepted through Friday, the 31st, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if anyone is interested, you sure are welcome to call Courtney and inquire what it would entail if you meet the qualifications. And like I said, those letters of interest and resumes need to be in by Friday. And we will, again, be starting up soon, once the weather breaks here in a month or two, our beautification what is it, Andy? Yard beautification. Yeah, we give an award. We actually give 3 every other week for the most beautiful yard businesses. So we hope that that will instill everyone around to want to clean up and jump on the bandwagon for beautification of Mount Sterling. So that's all I have.
All right, very good. This takes us to ordinances and resolutions. We have 3 pieces of legislation to pass this evening, and they will all 3 be on emergency. And we've talked about this before. We do not have emergency measures just so we can slip something past the public. They are emergency measures because they are things that need to be put into place immediately. It could be employment-related, it could be related to a pending bill or something, but we are following the Ohio Revised Code, and it's 705.15, and just a little snippet from it says, "No ordinance, unless it is declared an emergency measure, shall be passed until it has been read on 3 separate days, the first and second reading of which may be the title only." And so I just wanted to go over that again. These 3 are going to be emergency measures. They are nothing that we're trying to hide from the public, and as we get to each one of them, I will have Courtney, I believe, explain those. So ordinance 2020-02 is an ordinance accepting the Madison County Auditor's 2020 estimated entitlements from local government fund, tax rates, and revenues.
Okay, so every year, we, as the village, have to accept what we believe that the county has estimated for us for the year. And that can go up. Usually it has gone up. We also have revenues. It's kind of like our budget. The budget that we approve right here for our 2020, we have to pass it. So it's going to tell you how much we expect to have revenues. This is the same thing, how much we as a village are going to get from the county. So this obviously has to be approved. You guys are aware, you received your legislation and your letter from the county auditors. And we just like to have that approved because I have to sign it back and give it back to the Madison County auditors.
Okay, so because this is an emergency, we need to suspend the rules, so I'll look for a motion to suspend the
Do
rules.
that motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
At this time, we'll need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
You have that motion?
Okay,
Second?
roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2020-02.
I'll give you that motion.
Second?
Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-02 has been passed.
Okay, very good. Resolution 2020-01 is a resolution allowing our fiscal officer to transfer funds from the general fund to the water and street fund and declaring an emergency.
Okay, so this one has been already approved when you guys approved the transfer and the acceptance of the general fund. Because we have been placed under a financial emergency, we have to update our budget only for the general fund every year. And that's not at the same time we update our 2020 budget for the village. So this has already been updated and already been passed. It's already in the budget for 2020. It's just allowing me to do some of those transfers that we talked about, transfers in and transfers out. This is something that the auditors wanted to see, that you guys blessed your final approval before I have that completed. And this is why this is being placed on an emergency, so that we can operate efficiently and effectively and be able to spend those monies as needed.
Anybody have any questions on that? No? Then I will need a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place it on the first, second, and third readings.
Got it?
Second.
Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Finally, I'll need a motion for adoption of Resolution 2020-01.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Becky, second.
Yes. Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-01 has passed.
Okay, very good. Moving on to Resolution 2020-02, a resolution allowing the fiscal officer to remove unused fund categories from the Mount Sterling account in the Ohio Uniform Accounting Network System.
Okay, and this one also is gonna be passed by an emergency. I know with finance, and I think all of council members, and I believe I have voiced this and stated this in several meetings prior to now, is that we have about a 14-page report. And now that all of our audits have been completed, there are items on there that are not being used. So in order for us to kind of clean up after the audit, this is one of their recommendations, as well as mine, is to remove some of those in what we refer to UAN system. That's the system that I work out of for the state. So the state would like to see those reports cleared up and line items and fund accounts that are not being used to have those removed. So they've asked me, now that everything has been audited and we need to move forward, that we clean some of those and remove some of those line items.
For clarification, not a single dime is in any of these accounts.
Correct.
They are completely empty. Most of them are historical. They're for grants, you name it, allocations from all over the place that simply were never cleaned up, right?
Yes.
And so that's why the
Yes.
report's literally 14 pages long.
Right. So there's revenue, so that's not receiving revenues, nor is it expending any amounts either. So there's no monies that have been ran through them until when they were set up back during prior years. So these are something that we're not going to use, because if we ever get a grant, we're going to have to open up a fund specifically for those transfers and ins and outs for those grants, and these ones are just duplicates on these reports. So nothing's ever been appropriated or budgeted for those.
Okay, and as we stated earlier, we have the meeting with the auditors on the 11th of February, so passing this on an emergency is necessary in case they decide to relieve us of our fiscal emergency. So at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to suspend the rules.
You have that motion?
Okay, second. Okay, roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place it on the first, second, and third readings.
Second?
Roll call. David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Now I need a motion for adoption of Resolution 2020-02.
All motion?
Second.
A roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-02 has passed.
And on to our final resolution, which is an exciting one that we are also declaring an emergency. This is Resolution 2020-03, a resolution replacing Councilmember Marcy Darlington with Melanie Fritz and declaring an emergency. Of course, we want her up here as soon as possible, so I need a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved?
Second. Roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Or Andy?
Yes.
And now I need a motion to place it on the first, second, and third readings.
Motion.
Second?
And roll call.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt Resolution 2020-03.
You got it?
Second.
And roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-03 is passed.
Very good. So at this time, we'd like to perform the oath for Melanie. Raise your hand, repeat after me. I, Melanie Fritz,
I, Melanie Fritz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of the Village Council of the Village of Mount Sterling
of the Village Council of the Village of Mount
in
Sterling
Madison County, Ohio.
in Madison County, Ohio.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're getting there one seat at a time.
Did you want to back to, Block Watch if there's any updates on that. Block Watch.
We missed Block Watch? I'm sorry, Dave.
That's all right, that's all
My
right.
gosh, I'm so sorry.
We had a new
Yes,
member
we'll go back
coming
to
in.
Block Watch.
The Block Watch, I built it up last year, and I'm glad to be back at it again, and we're going to still be meeting in the communities when the weather gets warm. I take the Block Watch out to the communities, and we will be doing that again this spring and summer, and we will have meetings on the last Wednesday of the month, right, in between 4 and 5 o'clock, usually when I can get everybody. And the main thing I want to press, what we're going on, I know people's used to this now, do not leave your car doors open when you're putting gas in your car. That is an open invitation for somebody to take a joyride. And there's a new one now, you'll get a call, and they'll want to know your social security number, because you won $10,000. And like I tell people about this, and I'll say it over and over, slam the receiver in their doggone ears. But I'm glad to be back with the Block Watch, and I hope it's even bigger this year, Mayor.
Okay, very good. At this time, we're at roundtable. Does any council members wish to speak roundtable?
Yes. I wanted to update on a few activities that are coming up in the community. February the 2nd, Madison Plains High School baseball team is hosting a baseball clinic from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for ages 7 to 9-year-olds. And then on February the 9th, they're doing the same thing for 10 to 12-year-olds. And the cost, pre-registration is $35 and at the door is $40. And I believe there's a lot of training that goes into it. It's also a fundraiser for the Madison Plains baseball team. And it is here at Mount Sterling Community Center. So it's really local. And with that said, I know the Youth League has already begun signups for baseball, softball, and t-ball. You can go online and get registered. And they'll also be holding some in-person registrations. Those dates have not been announced yet. And then I wanted to mention on February the 8th, the Friends of the Library, I believe, is hosting the Victorian Tea. This has been going on for several years. It's a wonderful event. I've heard that it just gets better and better every year. All the tickets are at the door sales this year. So that is on February the 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. And I believe adults is $10 and children are only $7. And then also on February the 7th, Friday evening from 5 to 8 p.m., the downtown businesses will be hosting their first shop hop. So it's kind of a Valentine's themed shop hop. So we hope that, people can come out and shop locally, support your own businesses. And soon the Chamber of Commerce will be releasing their year of events, and we're hoping, again, the Chamber works close with the village and the market crew and all the churches and organizations we have in the community to really build our calendar good and full of wonderful events for everyone to participate in. And one last thing I wanted to say in regards to Melanie, congratulations and welcome. But we had a lot of good candidates, I will say. A couple of them are here today. Something we decided when we had our interviews was that they were all tremendous assets for our community. We appreciate them taking the time to come out, and we are going to place them all on committees, and I think it will only benefit the strength of those committees. And so you should be hearing from a chairman of a committee or our mayor, who's going to start up some social activities too with a couple of those candidates. So just thank you again for your interest. It's really important to be involved with the community, and thank you.
Anybody else?
I'd like to mention there's a little event coming up Sunday called a Super Bowl, and my team's not there this year, but it's a big event. And also, we got Groundhog's Day, and let's hope the groundhog doesn't see his shadow so they can get the baseball season started earlier.
I would just like to say, adding on to what Becky talked about with some of the events in the village, in order to really start to build again the town and to look for growth, we need to make sure that we are patronizing our businesses that are here. And I understand that, sometimes in a small village, your stores might charge you a little bit higher, and maybe you can't buy all of your groceries here in town, or maybe you can't buy all of your Christmas gifts here in town, but you can take the time and stop and pick up one thing, visit those stores, see what they have. There's some really unique stores that we have here in this town that we should be very proud of. So it starts slow. Just take the time to go one time, and then maybe again and again, and we'll start to get that growth. And 2020, I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome, and I really appreciate everybody's input tonight, and if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 7:57. Thank you.
Congratulations again, I'm glad you're up here.
Sorry about that. My pencil came.
All new members, that's
That's not good.
I didn't get the memo, man.
Oh, man.
Folks, I forgot to mention, but I want to reiterate that meeting Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
It's open to the public. We're going to talk about the sheriff contract. So if you have any thoughts on it, please come.